Welcome to the 10th anniversary of Hot Air.
Wow.
For those of you not listening live, you can find us every 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/radio hot air. And I just want to say, Dunphy, I've missed you.
I've missed you too. What's it been? 3 episodes without me?
3 episodes without you.
Wow.
It feels like a different show.
You know, they call me like the hit and miss. No, I've really missed it.
You know, the art on Twitch that we have, our banner, is of us two speaking to each other.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
I feel like I need to, erase you.
No, just have me half there.
Or just you half there, because you're never here. But you're here for our anniversary. It's just us.
See, I'm the man. I always show up at the right time.
The right moments.
The right moments.
Right moments to win the person back.
Win the date.
Win
both man or woman.
So what have you listened to any of the other episodes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So okay.
Oh no.
Well,
look. I trust you so much that I
you
didn't even have
to check.
You
didn't even need to check.
But I hear that they were successful.
I would say so. I think I enjoyed them, and that's what matters.
Yeah, exactly.
But so today we're going to be talking about many different things. Stick around, and we will be sure to celebrate our 10th anniversary with what we hope will be the best episode to date. And now to the big first news story of the day. Dunphy, you have something that you urgently need to talk about.
Oh, you know me. And I think, what did we decide this segment was going to be called?
Aircraft Corner or Airplane Corner?
Aircraft. No. Yeah, I think that's a good topic. But okay, here's our topic today.
Not the only topic, by the way.
But this will be,
not the
an
only
hour
topic.
of talking about aviation. I couldn't even do that.
Oh, you could totally do
Yeah.
it.
Now, brace yourself for this, Noah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to say this, but Boeing.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
Not number one anymore.
I know. Wait, is it really that, has their market share dropped below that of Airbus?
I can't personally say that on the record. However,
okay. They're not doing as well.
Orders have been cancelled that exceed less than Boeing's. So Airbus. So Airbus has more orders for their aircraft.
Oh God.
I know, the
what
Europeans.
What have you done, Boeing? The Europeans. How can you let the freaking socialists take over?
No. So I've been reading about this, and it looks that Boeing, they're restructuring the business.
The entire business?
Most of the business. So they're getting rid of their employees or placing them into different parts of the business.
Really? But what did the employees do wrong? Wasn't it just a management mess up?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so for the people that don't know, what happened do you want to give a quick rundown of what happened with Boeing?
You can, if you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're the expert. Well,
okay,
sure.
Yeah. So, the 737, which is the most commonly flown aircraft in commercial aviation, had a sister ship called the 737 MAX. Mm-hmm. This, unfortunately, incorporated a new system called MCAS, Maneuverous Characteristics Augmentation System, which meant that the plane automatically put the nose down.
And why did they do that? Why was that there?
That's there because they didn't trust pilots.
From what I understand, I would categorize that differently. Mm-hmm. Is basically what had happened was, from what I understand, is Airbus, which is the competitor to Boeing, had designed more fuel, or they had taken one of their best-selling models,
A320,
and they could refurbish it with better engines, which were more fuel efficient. And because of the refurbishing, pilots required less training, and it was less expensive because they didn't have to buy new planes. Is that correct? Yeah. Then Boeing, to compete with that, wanted to refurbish their best planes, which is the 737, and they wanted to add more fuel-efficient engines to it. Mm-hmm. However, because of a strange manufacturing thing that happens with Boeing, is that their planes are actually lower to the ground than Airbus's planes.
The fuselages,
yeah. Exactly. So the body of the plane is lower to the ground, meaning you can't just pop new engines underneath because it would hit the floor. Yeah. So they actually have to raise the wing height, right? Or something along those lines? They have they have to move the engines actually up a bit in the wing so that it didn't just go, not the top of the engine was at the bottom of the wing, the top of the engine actually kind of stuck out a bit above the wing.
So it's like really far forward now, the engine. You'll notice it.
And so because of that, there were some changes that they had to make to the plane because it was more difficult to fly. But because of the more difficult to fly, less airlines would want to buy it because it would require new pilot training. So what Boeing did is they sneakily put in something called MCAS.
MCAS, yep.
Which then in the situation, because what happens is because of the new positioning of the engines, the plane actually goes a bit too steep.
Yeah,
right?
Because think about it. You do physics.
Yeah.
If your thrust, the thing that's driving, is further forward and slightly more down,
Yeah.
your nose is going to go up. Like that's thrust.
Exactly. So what they did is they had a software fix. Rather than retraining some pilots or giving the pilots a bit more instruction, they put a software fix, which pilots were unaware of, but which pushed the nose down. Now, there were 2 crashes, which were caused by the MCAS because the pilots were trying, or one crash and then they saved the other one.
No,
or something?
two fatal crashes.
Two fatal crashes, and the pilot was fighting with the MCAS because they didn't know what the MCAS was. So they were trying to, the plane was pushing down the nose, but the pilot actually needed to push up the nose,
Yep.
and they didn't know how to disable it. So the MCAS caused the crash because it malfunctioned.
Well, yeah, because what it does is, I'm going to explain this really simply and really fast. Trim is, so the small wing at the back of the plane, it moves, and that's called trim. And then behind that, you have something called the elevator, and that controls the pitch of the aircraft. What MCAS does is it moves the big wing at the back of the plane, the vertical stabilizer, the horizontal stabilizer, to adjust so pilots don't have to...
pitch of the nose,
Yeah, because so pilots don't have to continuously pull back on the plane.
Yeah.
So relax. But that shoots up, the airflow pushes the back of the plane up, and the front of the nose down, crashes it.
Yeah, which is no bueno.
No bueno.
So what happened at Boeing then? What did they try to do?
So Boeing decided which was extremely stupid in my opinion, and that they were going to continue making orders and try and resolve the issue. 10 months later,
they couldn't resolve the issue.
They have.
But why couldn't they just retrain the pilots to better understand the plane?
The plane. Well, the problem is that this system now malfunctions constantly. But they should have why
not get rid of MCAS and just retrain some pilots? That seems like more expensive.
It's more expensive, but it's better. But I believe that they think that they can find the solution for MCAS and not have to rip it out internally because it's built into the hardware now, the software.
Oh yeah, no, but you could
You could disable it. That's what I'm thinking. But apparently, Boeing said that they can't disable the MCAS.
Okay.
Which I don't.
Okay, that's very strange. But so, what has Boeing done now? What have they done with the MCAS, or what is it doing with the new Boeing?
They said they're
Boeing Max.
The new Boeing Max, they're going to get rid of it.
They're just completely scrapping it.
That's what I've read. Yeah.
What about the placed orders? What's happening to those companies?
Well, how deliveries of aircraft work is either they buy them from a leasing company, or they rent them from a leasing company, or they buy them directly from Boeing.
Yeah.
And they'll do payments of 40% now, 60% on delivery.
Yes.
So Boeing will have to refund
the 40%. Oh gosh.
But what
are we looking at a Boeing bankruptcy here?
I don't know, but I believe you asked me an interesting question, and we said we'd save this.
Oh yeah.
The government. Will they bail Boeing?
Will they bail out Boeing? Well, because from what I understand, is the government will only bail out Boeing if they'd be in jeopardy of bankruptcy, and they already get crazy amounts of federal funding.
Do they really?
They get a lot of money from the government as subsidies to make them more competitive.
The materials or
no, just they get.
Grants
I think it's
stuff.
First they get some tax cuts because so there's a couple levels to this. They get money from the federal government, which is the big United States that just get subsidies.
Yep.
Because they're a large corporation. Secondly, they get tax cuts they're located in, I believe, Washington State, which is on the West Coast by where Seattle is, and the state government also gives them a lot of tax cuts so that they stay located in Seattle, in Washington, because it's intercompetition between all of the states in America. So actually,
is it really?
Because it's all about obviously the state government in America is a representation of the people that live in the state. So to get reelected, they need to make the lives of the people in the state that they live in better, right?
Okay.
So if you're a state senator, right, as in for the state government, you don't care what happens in any of the other states, right? You just want your state to do best. So you try to attract companies to locate in your state by giving them lower taxes. Do you know how this entire story about Amazon?
Yeah.
When Amazon was trying to build an East Coast headquarters, they wanted to build headquarters 2. They literally had a competition between all of the different cities on the East Coast, and I think also some in Canada, between which one would get the pick. And they had to offer the best deal, as in the most tax cuts, most benefits, all the most subsidies. And they literally just had a short list, and then they had like a long list and a short list. And they had all of the cities competing with each other.
So... that's...
How corrupt is that? How terrible is that? That's awful.
Dodgy.
Yeah, that's really dodgy.
Like, that's dodgy. But it's...
Good for the company. Yeah, sure. It's super, like, messed up because they pay zero taxes, or they pay very low taxes. It's insane. But point is will Boeing get bailed out? I would say I think it's a bad idea if they get bailed out.
For Boeing, for the U.S. government, or both?
I think Boeing, obviously, they want more money because it's good for them as a business. But for the U.S. government as the economy as a whole, I think it would give the wrong signaling that the government will just, bail you out if you fuck up, because this isn't a systemic economic issue that if Boeing goes under, it's going to cause a massive economic crisis like in 2008. This is a Boeing messed up.
Yeah.
Boeing was stupid with their MCAS and were too greedy in trying to get their plane out as fast as possible to compete with Airbus.
Yeah.
And then they caused, all these deaths. Mm-hmm. So no, they shouldn't get bailed out. Currently, I don't even think they're having that conversation because you told me that the CEO got fired, right?
The CEO did, Mr. Dennis. Pardon my pronunciation. I can never say names. Millenberg.
You just have to Millenberg.
Yeah.
That's not a difficult name.
You just
need to be assertive.
You need to just say it with confidence.
Say it with confidence. Don't say, I'm so sorry if I get this wrong. Don't say, oh, excuse me. Just say the name. Who cares if you butcher the name? No one cares if you butcher, except the person.
But will he be listening?
Will he be listening?
Well,
no,
maybe.
He won't.
Maybe.
No, he won't. Well, now
a man
that he's
can dream.
Now that he's unemployed, maybe he has more time on his hands.
Exactly. Who knows? Maybe on his way to work he's listening to us.
Yeah.
11 a.m.
In the car.
In the car. They fired him.
Why did they fire him? Well, obviously, yeah, but
they fired him because of the lack of stability that he was able to make Boeing after these 2 fatal crashes.
So, do you think that it was more that they thought it was his fault and that they fired him, or do you think it was more of them trying to signal to the market that they're making a change?
It obviously wasn't his fault.
You don't think so?
He didn't design the plane.
Yeah, but he did approve the plane.
He did. He approved the plane. So did the FAA, so did EASA.
No, but like he was the one who said, you know what, we're not going to properly make this thing. We're going to take shortcuts by using MCAS, and we're going to try to outcompete Boeing and just take shortcuts. He approved that business plan. That was his fault.
Look, he was great for Boeing for the previous years. He released some great aircraft. And the Boeing MCAS, I think it was a step too advanced in the future, which is great for me, for people like pilots who are definitely going to have a job for a while after this because people are never going to trust
automated
computers.
Yeah, I remember I told you once that I think you shouldn't become a pilot because planes are going to get automated soon. Do you remember when I told you this?
This was what your ICT, what is it? Sorry, computer science assembly at school. You told me.
Oh, really?
The day after, because you were doing.
Oh, okay. Well, I told you this, and you're like, you're ridiculous. It's not going to happen. And I totally agree. You'll be fine for your lifetime.
Look, for my lifetime, I'll be fine. But if you look at manufacturers such as Garmin, who make my watch, and they make watches, they make a lot of shipping and aviation electronics.
Oh, really?
They've just released a new product, which is Autoland.
That's cool.
Only for emergencies. It's not accurate at all.
And okay.
Yeah,
not cool. Not cool.
It can land on the runway, but it will swerve quite a bit. The ride isn't
okay,
too
but then
nice.
What's the point of it? Why do you have Autoland?
If I'm a pilot by myself, having a heart attack, having a seizure, you just press the button.
And then it just tries to do it.
It does it. All successful landings so far.
Oh, okay.
So far. No, but But look, there are steps in the right direction, and then there have been Boeing steps in the wrong direction, which will affect the market for a long time. I believe.
Do you what's Airbus's play currently? What do you think they should be doing?
Airbus is like
they're being very quiet. They're not saying anything.
Airbus is like that dodgy friend who, after you're having a bad day, comes up and puts their hand on you, sort of like, "Hey, we're here to help. Cancel your orders. come buy our brand new A320neo, which
Yeah.
is what the airlines are doing. So for our American viewers, I'm sure you're aware Southwest, the airline,
Yeah.
it only has 737s in its fleet.
Fantastic.
It's the flagship plane.
Yeah.
But now it's going to be weird when you see a Southwest A320 pull up to
They're
your
pulling.
stand.
They're pulling. Well, okay. First of all, I doubt anyone knows, except aviation nerds, the difference between getting on a Boeing plane versus an Airbus plane. Personally, I have no idea if I'm flying Airbus or Boeing.
No, really?
No idea.
See, I'm the type of person that will stop in the middle of the street, look up A320. No one asks.
Yeah. No one wants to.
No one asks.
I still tell them. You know.
Still look up, still tell them, still make it as a...
And still, like, you make that face. I know the exact face where you're like, I'm so proud of myself. Look what I just did.
The $100,000 degree for just being able to name a plane.
You know what's even worse, folks? It's not worse. It's just it's quirky. Is he always has a flight radar app on his phone, so he's always checks if he's correct. And there's like such a
And then if I am,
such a
like-
smile on his face. He's like, look, I'm right. Oh my god.
But I'm also that kind of sad person that, like, in... Sorry, Miss Troy. Sorry, Miss Pollock.
These are our economics teachers.
Yeah, if in economics and we're doing something, but I'll still be taking my notes, still be listening, or if I'm doing independent work, I'll have my flight radar up and I'll be listening to Schiphol
Oh
Tower,
my
watching
god.
the plane approach, and it will be like, American 757, you are clear for takeoff, runway 23. Just listen. I'm that sad.
Do you really, if you're listening, right, and you go like American Airlines or whatever, do you notice that the pilots are Americans, or do you notice that all this different stuff?
Oh yeah, you go from, yes, this is KLM 552. Yeah, Roger 172, we are clear to land.
And what do you think? What country can do the best pilot voice?
Americans, for sure.
The Americans
Come on.
get the best pilot voice?
I got to admit, the Australians have it's something about Australians that are like just really relaxed. Like, yeah, we're coming in here. It's like really nasally. But the Americans, it's dominate. You hear it so often because you listen to YouTube. You hear Americans,
Of course, because it's, you know.
but maybe that could be another episode.
Is the United States the largest aircraft market, airline market in the world, flight market? Or is it China?
I believe so. I believe there are more. There's definitely more carriers.
Where is more money to be made? In America?
The Asian market, not the China market. The Asian market.
No, but just like country-wise, China,
US.
or the United States.
United States for sure.
Okay, but just quick future predictions before we move on. What's happening to Boeing? What are they going to do? And what would you do as CEO?
As CEO, I would see. This is really hard. I would offer the design of the MAX.
So
the
that's the plane with the MCAS?
Yeah, that I'd offer the hardware. So what the actual aircraft looks, it's designed because the winglets, so they're the bits of the wing at the end that go
curve
up.
Okay.
They save so much fuel because the drag ratio is less.
Okay.
So I'd offer that, and I'd also offer the improved fuel efficient engines. And if I had loyal customers who were still not happy with that, I would offer maybe discounted engine
But how could you offer that without MCAS? Because that's the entire thing.
It's all based off MCAS.
It's all because that was the selling point of the Max and also of the Neo. Because for those of you who don't know, the Neo
Airbus
was Airbus, and that was essentially their new fuel efficient plane that the Max 8 was trying to compete with. How would you sell your new Boeing Max 8 that without MCAS? Because then the pilots would need the extra training.
That's a really good question. There's no way around this.
Because obviously Boeing said, we're not going to fix it. We're not going to make any sales. They could cut the entire plane.
Because Boeing actually, the 737 is a harder plane to fly than the Airbus A320, your other medium short-haul plane. So
that's not the Neo. That's not the new upgraded new fuel efficient.
The Neo is really a really easy plane to fly.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Whereas the 737 has been known to be a much harder plane to fly. So I'd say pilots will need to be trained, and maybe Boeing can do an in-house free training clinic to keep their customer loyalty up.
Yeah.
So we have simulators. Send your pilots here. We'll train them, and we will deliver your aircrafts.
If you were an airline, would you now buy Boeing or would you buy Airbus?
Look,
if you had to make your entire fleet,
if
you had to build your airline fleet, what would you build?
This comes down to a pilot point of view. Spoken to a lot of guys who fly for Ryanair and Transavia and KLM out at Lilliestead, which is an airport I fly out of. they say they'd still fly the Max. They'd still fly it.
You'd get a Boeing fleet. Because for the people, right? When an airline often flies only one type, either Airbus or Boeing, because pilots then. A pilot that's trained for Boeing aircraft can fly most of the other Boeing aircraft, right?
Exactly.
And pilot trained for Airbus can only fly the Airbus. So then you have to get different pilots for different things. They also mechanically work differently, so you need different mechanics. And all
Different parts.
Different parts.
A lot of the Boeing parts fit in Boeing, like any car. A lot
exactly. So they need to pick one, and you'd still pick Boeing?
I would. I'd still pick Boeing. Yeah. Look, end of the story. Boeing is the way to go, in my opinion.
Okay, I wanted to talk to you about something that I have a very strong opinion about, which is, well, it's not that I have a strong opinion about, it's just an idea that I had.
An idea?
An idea, yes. I was running this morning, right?
Good on you.
Yeah, go for me. I'm quite happy I'm doing more exercise.
Healthy mind, healthy body.
Healthy body, healthy mind.
Why do I say it wrong?
We were talking. I got him in, he comes over half an hour earlier, and we just have a little talk, and we have a private discussion. We get a drink.
Little tea party.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we are both drinking iced tea right now. But he said I told him I ran today, and he said the same thing, and he made the same mistake twice.
So
same mistake twice.
Healthy body, healthy mind.
Healthy body, healthy mind.
I
Because
think
the running is for the body, not for the mind.
But if you have a healthy mindset, can't you have a healthy body?
Yeah, of course.
So then healthy mind, healthy body.
No, but if it's not applicable to the situation.
Okay, so it has to be applicable to the situation.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
okay. Sorry.
But I had an idea for a game show, and I wanted to know what you thought about my idea. I was quite happy with my idea, and I feel like you're gonna poke a hole in it, and I'm like, damn, it's not gonna work. Exactly.
Okay.
But the idea that I had was a game show with basically BMX bikers, so people that have really cool bikes and normally do parkour, but you have an obstacle course with really big obstacles. And what you have is none of the contestants see the obstacle course beforehand. They have the person on the bike, and they have engineers. And the engineers they get a bunch of materials at each obstacle, and then you have 3 engineers from each team at 5 different obstacles. Okay, 10 minutes before the bicycle race starts, the engineers see the obstacle and see the material that they have. They then have to build something.
Like a bike?
No, they have to build something so that the bicyclist can get over the obstacle. Do you see what I mean?
Oh, so you'd have one obstacle could be a brick wall, and they might have some wood and some tires.
And they need to build a ramp, for example. So that the bicyclist, the BMX bicyclist, can get over the wall. And the idea is that because they have 10 minutes at the start to build, because you have the different teams, they have 10 minutes at the start to build their first getting over the obstacle bit. Then the bicyclist has to bike there. So depending on how fast the bike goes, the engineers either have more or less time to build their contraption, right? And also, the engineers ahead of them, they'll have even harder obstacles. So they'll need more time to figure out a way for the cyclist to get over that obstacle. But it's further away, so the cyclist takes longer to get there. So depending on how fast he's at the first obstacle, he might have an easier time at the second one because the engineers might be ready. Do you see how there's a balance there?
So it's very strategical.
Yes. Yes, it's very strategical. And I think that'd be cool because I don't like watching sports because I think they're very boring. But if I would watch something where people are constantly trying to build stuff, and then this guy is imagine they build a ramp and they do it really quickly, and then the bicyclist is right there very quickly because that means you can bike faster towards the obstacle, right? But turns out the ramp's really crappy and he falls.
Yeah.
And that's extra drama.
So
wouldn't that be fun?
just so you guys get this, Noah currently is clenching his fingers up, looking like he's about to strangle me.
No,
he's so excited.
I would watch that. I would watch that sport.
What
would you call it? What's a good name for it? You're good with names. You thought of the name of the podcast. Ooh. Keep in mind, you are live, so you can't have too much dead space.
I'm so scared.
You should be scared.
Look,
no,
BMX, but no, bungee jump. No, it has to incorporate BMX.
Why BMX? Well, because that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And building. So
BMX engineers.
Yeah.
No, because it's
it's like a game show though.
No, it's not because it's not. I want it to not be a game show. I know I called it a game show earlier. It has to be a sport, and it has to have the legitimacy of a sport, just like Formula One, which has a lot of engineering and the tire changes and whatever, and soccer and all this stuff. we need to have a proper single word name for the sport.
Well, like frisbee and golf, frisbee golf. That's what it's officially called.
Frisbee golf.
You've never heard of
What
frisbee
the hell's
golf?
frisbee golf? It sounds really lame.
It's golf course,
Yeah,
but with a frisbee,
that's lame.
and you
Okay.
gotta get it in the hole.
All right, that's stupid.
Okay.
It seems like very dull. It seems very dull.
Building BMX. No, because that sounds like. This
Okay,
is hard.
well-
let's get a chat. If you can give us something, just
We'll
send
let you
us
know.
a-
We'll let you know.
But
that
know
is,
when-
by the way, internet. I know not many people listen to the show, but that's still my idea, and I will sue the living hell out of you if you take it.
But I think it's a good idea, and you know how.
Would you watch it?
I would.
Yeah.
I'd love to see someone fall through a few wooden planks and.
No, because also imagine like they build it properly and they're like really pros and they go like they like do flips and stuff because you
That'd
could
be
even
cool.
give them like style points as well.
See, I'm a man of I'm a man of preparation. I love preparation. But also I love being challenged on the spot.
Yeah,
So I think it would be great because you have that little bit of preparation, but you also still
exactly.
time pressure
yes.
and
then you see those engineers freak out and like, how the heck are we going to approach this problem? How are we going to get a bike over a brick wall? And maybe they're going to build like a pulley system, or they're going to build some sort of like catapult.
And you could add some tension where it's like it could be some like barbed wire. So if they
yeah.
fall, so it's like really
They could kill themselves.
camera zooming in.
Exactly. Blood everywhere.
Oh.
No, but you know, what do you think? Okay, do you watch sports?
I do. I watch a lot of ski racing. And
Oh, you watch skiing?
Skiing and racing. Sailing.
And sailing. That seems very dull.
No, my dad sails, so
Okay,
support him.
you got it. Oh, he professional.
Professional sailor.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But personally, I don't like watching sports because I think it gets really boring. I do, however, from time to time watch esports because it's cool and you get guys with really cool like special abilities and powers, and that's really exciting. While otherwise, sports are just kind of like a guy running on a field and kicking a ball.
So this
I think
is
it's not as exciting as people, you know, in Overwatch or something, you know, jumping over. They have specific strategies and all this stuff. Also, I play the game myself. I know the strategies, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so interesting. Look how he's doing that.
look. You just said something, and I want to talk about this, but not today because I want to get some research in on this.
Oh.
Should esports be an Olympic sport? We'll leave it at that.
Oh,
Yeah.
really want to do research on that?
Yeah. Well, do you think you can go now?
I could definitely go now. Do you think esports should be in the
I don't think so. It's
Okay.
such a physically intense Olympic game, and yes, I see a lot of gamers who are physically wrecked after.
Yeah. No. Okay. Do you think esports should be called sports in general?
No.
No. Not you. Don't think you should call
No.
them sports?
It's
I agree.
with me.
Yes. Well, look, I think that the Olympics are for physical sports, just like we don't have chess at the Olympics either.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's very strategical. I'll
It's
give
very-
it that. It's a very intense
like,
game.
in the end, it's all about, I think, for the Olympics and for traditional sports, it's all about the physical activity. And it's just like we don't have people that are playing Risk or people that are playing Monopoly
True.
at the Olympics, the same way we are not, because I really think that all video games are nowadays are kind of way cooler board games, because that was kind of what it was based off. Now we have the
It is.
technology to make interactive, really fun, high intensity board games.
It's like Call of Duty when you play bam 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 bam.
Well, I don't like Call of Duty.
No, but
anyway,
like a shooting game.
yes,
When you
Still
used
don't
to
like
be a
shooting
kid,
games,
you
but
used to
still,
play with your little. Did you play with them? The army stick.
I didn't play with. You know what I did as a kid? It's very sad. Well, I think it's super cool. But as a kid, I used to have. I did two things. As a kid, I had a lot of toy cars, and what I did is I pretended to be in a parking lot, and I parked all of them in a very neat line against the wall. And I'd take one out, and I'd go vroom 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 vroom, and I'd move it around with my hand, and then I'd
back.
park it right, like perfectly, in the parking lot. Or I'd have toy airplanes, and I'd have a fake airport, and I'd manage the
That's
airport.
exactly what I'd do as well.
And I like landed them, and I said, and flight A370 coming in for landing, and then I'd like land, and I'd walk it down, and it slowly, and it's like, and I go, as in like the braking, and I said, is tower cleared for takeoff, and I'd like move it, or this kind of thing, and I'd move it into the gate, and have it perfectly lined and neat. And folks, for those of you that don't know, I like playing video games. My favorite kind of video games to play, one of the favorite types, are management games, where I manage things like airports.
And what game could that be that we
Airport
both love?
CEO.
Sorry, that's our...
It's literally, the game is exactly what I did as a kid.
It's our dream game.
Where I just build an airport, and instead of using toys and my own like verbal mouth of saying take off or this flight is delayed or whatever,
the system does it,
and then the system does it for you, and it's so cool.
And it saves so much money because you spend so much money on those planes and the equipment and
you know what the saddest thing that I ever did is I had this really nice metal airplane. And it was really pretty, and it was very well designed, and I got it from my mom for my birthday or something. I forget where I got it, but you could even like pull it back, and it like you know those cars, the toy cars that you have, if you pull it back, it goes forward. Yeah, the plane had that too. Is you could pull it back, and it went forward. It didn't go fly up, but it was very nice. And on I think it was like King's Day, and on King's Day is basically a big boot sale in the Netherlands. You can just sell whatever you want on the street, just like secondhand. It's like a yard. It's like a big yard sale, and I sold it.
Why?
Only for €5, which is like $7, and it was worth like 30.
No.
And it was so nice. It had sentimental value. But that was the first money I ever earned in my entire life.
Congratulations.
And I don't have that money anymore. I forgot what I spent it on. But like, yeah.
Something probably on King's Day.
Probably, yeah. But anyway, I wanted to talk to you about that. The game show, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
And I still am very much kind of like what I was when I was a kid. So, you know. Okay. How was America?
How do you think America was, in your opinion?
Awesome.
Describe America in 3 words.
Freedom, kindness, and awesomeness.
It was about that.
Yeah?
Was.
Did you feel the freedom?
Look, I was so nostalgic when I got there because I go to this place every...
You've never lived there, though.
Kinda. It's weird.
You've lived in... No,
you've
not
lived, but I've long-term stayed. So for those American viewers and European and anyone that lives in the Northern Hemisphere, in the Southern Hemisphere where people are normal, we have our school year is February till December.
No.
February till December, which means we get 9 weeks or 8 weeks off over Christmas. So I used to spend 9 weeks skiing in Aspen.
That's insane.
10 or 11 weeks, I'd missed 2 weeks of school.
Yeah.
Skiing
That's
in Aspen.
crazy.
So I'd live in, well, not live, but
I'm sorry, I'm just not getting past
stay.
this February to December situation.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I think it's way better.
I don't know.
Because...
I don't know. For me, it's just normal. School starts in September. That's just how it is.
We have 4 terms.
Yeah, okay.
Where you guys have... Well,
3?
3, but 6.
I don't know.
It's 3 but 6.
Half terms,
half terms, yeah. But then we'd had, yeah. But anyway, I used to spend so long there. So I grew up in, like, over my summer holiday, like their winter. I'd ski for so long, knew all these people, lost a few friends there, made a lot of friends there, and I love it.
Yeah.
And the people, so friendly.
Because it's America. All the people are friendly.
But
okay, I think people might disagree with me, but whenever I go to America, and I go relatively often, like I go probably every year, I'm at least there for like 3 weeks from holiday, or like 2 weeks, I always have a very fun time because I have a kind of an Americanish accent, and it's very fun for me to be around people that kind of talk like me, which is just really exciting.
It's your people.
Well, yeah, I've never lived there, but I really do feel like they are like part of kind of my people, which is very fun. And I also feel that people are quite nice, and that they're like nice and friendly, outspoken people, and I really appreciate that. And I think American hospitality is just fantastic. I remember I heard the story once, and I think before I talk about this, I think a lot of people, because of the political climate, don't feel that way, and that there's a big divide in America. And I think there is a big divide in America, but generally, if people don't just bring up politics like that.
No.
Right? You're just nice to one another, and I love that. And what I wanted to say really quick, I know you want to say something, is that there was this thing, I think I was tired of someone or something, and they just felt like I just kind of got assimilated into American culture when I got there.
You clicked with them.
This person, they just kind of they were from foreign, and they were just got assimilated, and everyone just kind of welcomed them with open arms, and they kind of felt American. I think that's really great about the country.
How much everyone welcomes.
Yeah.
No,
I think, of course, there are different people who do different things,
who would
but
be less,
in general, I do think that America is very opening and welcome.
Look, what I love about America is that you can meet some lonely guy in an airport hotel, airport bar, and you sit next to him and you can talk to him for hours.
Yeah.
About absolutely nothing.
He'll listen. Well, he'll also listen to your problems.
He or she,
Yeah.
they'll listen or they'll talk. But the great thing is, you can leave. Like, I met a new friend. We might never speak again. We might never talk. You probably won't even take his or her number.
Yeah.
But you made a friend.
Exactly.
And that's what's nice. And also that the culture, the industry, is such a service-based industry.
Yes, it is.
You guys
Yeah.
and girls focus just on making everyone feel welcome, which is unfortunately what I don't feel in Amsterdam so much compared to America. America's like,
Yeah.
great.
I have this thing, and in America, you always have like the wait staff. They're always very friendly and all this stuff. And whenever you need something fixed, I feel like they're there immediately. In the Netherlands, it's like, yeah, we'll be there in like 4 weeks at like 2 o'clock during the day, and then they're not there, and then they're late, and then they miss you, and it's just nightmare. America, I feel it's a lot better. But how was holiday?
Holidays was amazing. And food portions, huge in America. Food quality, great. Food, super cheap. But this brings me into a segue topic.
Well, before we segue, I want to talk to you even more
about America.
Just skiing. How was the holiday?
The holiday was
it
really
worth
good.
missing 3 episodes? Be careful.
No.
No.
Look, it was the snow, nothing like Europe. So here's your snow corner. In Aspen is currently. No, it's the snow. It's so different. The snow in Aspen tends to be what they call champagne powder. So really light snow.
Okay.
So it's like easy to ski. It's not heavy on your skis. It's great. Whereas in Europe, it tends to be a little more heavy.
Well, we've had no snow here.
Yeah.
No snow.
Crikey. For 2 years now. No, we had
snow last year.
Yeah.
But, like for like a couple days.
But it was in February, so fingers crossed.
Yeah. This is why winter is my favorite season, is because I love the snow.
And I love
it's
the
wonderful.
dogs in the snow.
Yes.
And the Vondelpark, which is like our big park in
It's like Central Park in Amsterdam, but not as big as Central Park.
No, nowhere near. When it's frozen, the ponds are frozen over and it's snowed.
Wonderful.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
It's
Okay. So you may start your segue now.
But skiing was great, and I really loved getting away. And I had one bad crash, but
crash? Oh, really? On like a dangerous slope?
No, I did a jump off a ledge and
Jeez.
face planted
Oh
in some
God.
powder. I will post that on our social media.
We'll talk about this later.
Well, no, we can. You want
to? I have a whole thing about social media.
No.
Yeah.
But this is what I wanted to talk about. America, food, cheap.
Yes. Okay.
But is it really? You go out to, sure, supermarket shopping tends to be a little cheaper than, actually, quite a bit than Europe, especially meat, we noticed. But when you go out to a restaurant, they don't add the tax on the prices or the 20% tip.
Yeah. Okay.
What are your thoughts on this?
So I think it's so freaking annoying that they don't add taxes to prices, even at supermarkets. They just don't add the tax.
$13.95. Whoa, this is great value.
Yeah. And they add sales tax.
Do you know it off by heart?
No.
It's up there. It's not up there, but it's up there.
No, I want to say 8%. I
Sales
don't
tax,
want to be. You want to Google it for
I'll
me?
I'll fact check, but yeah.
But what I wanted to say, yeah. So I think it's super dumb that they don't put sales tax in their prices. And
Nice guess. 7.25%.
7.25%. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's in the Netherlands, like 21%, right? BTV.
I'll check. Sales tax in.
But I think that it's very annoying.
Yeah,
but,
21.
Yeah, 20. See, it's but I think it's really dumb, and the tipping thing really annoys me because I feel this is my opinion on tipping. I know that there are other reasons why it's not there. There's nuance to it, but generally my feelings are this: tipping is for something when a waiter does something very nice or they're very good, and I want to reward the waiter specifically that was serving me, so I give them a little extra. Just for them.
If it's like $7.20, you might round it up to $8 or $9.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If they were nice. If they were a good waiter, and thus encouraging good service is the idea. It is not, however, something which it is now, which is a requirement that you pay on every single meal.
I get that.
Because it is simply that you have to tip because otherwise they don't get enough money.
And that's
so you can literally, they are deceiving you on the menu because in actuality, the price of the food isn't whatever $10. No. It's $12 because it's $10 plus 20% tip.
Yeah.
Right? If you're forcing me to tip societally, just raise the prices on the menu.
Exactly.
Because that's where their salary should be coming from. Not from me tipping them, right? That's dumb. I should be tipping for excellent service. Right? Because now, if I want someone to have excellent service, I need to pay them 25 or 30%.
And if you go to a nice restaurant, you pay what, $80 a head for someone?
Well, seems like a lot, but okay, sure.
Yeah,
nice,
but like a
nice restaurant,
$80 a head. Then you're plussing your 20%.
It's insane. It's crazy. It adds up, and I feel it is a scam by employers to pay their employees less. And you get such dirty looks if you don't tip.
I know.
Right? And I think in the UK, what I appreciate in the UK is they just include it in the price.
Yeah, that's nice.
They have a service fee.
You still can give them a little something.
Yes, but you have a service fee, and I think that's wonderful.
But what I hated, this is the one thing I really hated in America, was where I go skiing, great cafe. It's not the only place. It's the Visa payment system that they have. It's a big screen. And you go get your food. It's like a table. It's not table service. It's tray. It's a cafeteria.
Okay. Yeah.
You go yourself.
I understand.
The food was expensive. It was like $28 for a burger and fries and a drink.
That's a lot of money.
Because it was they call it mountain price. It's expensive.
Yeah, because you're in a fancy, schmancy, upper-class ski resort in Aspen, Colorado. So I wonder
you
why
go
it's
there.
expensive.
But you put your plate there, and I pay with card. I don't pay with cash. Because
of course. Okay.
I tap the payment system, and on a big screen where everyone can see, including the wait, the person who just types in your food that you're typing in, says, "Sir, would you like to give me a tip?"
Oh
0%,
my God.
10%, 25%.
That's awful. What do they get tips for?
Exactly.
There's no service there.
They're just putting in numbers. And if you press the 0%, a big red X comes up on the screen, and it makes a beep noise. You give them the 10%, green tick and a ding, and 25, green tick and a ding.
That is so
you can't
awful.
round up the price. You can't round up the price.
Awful.
You have to add the percentage.
Oh my God.
It's publicly shaming someone. So every time I had to give them 10% extra.
I wouldn't do it. I'd just press 0.
But I'd feel like they
Yeah, then okay, suck it.
It's like every time it should come out with a note saying, "No food for my child who's dying of..."
This is completely it is social blackmail.
It is, and it's not just the way the person who's ringing up your bill that gives you it's like Bob, did you see that Australian dude? He's depriving that woman of her food.
It is. No, but I feel like that they design it that way.
They do.
They
Of course
design
they
it
do.
to pressure you to tip because of the social stigma behind it. Because you don't want to be known as that freaking guy who doesn't pay people, right? You don't want to be known as the cheapskate who gives no tips.
Exactly.
Personally, I would just be like, fuck this. No one's serving me. Not giving anyone a tip. You're just pushing things on a computer.
Exactly.
Right? No tip for you.
They don't pick up your tray and scan it.
No.
They don't even scan it like a supermarket.
Not even. But it's like you don't give supermarket people tips.
Exactly.
You don't go on a screen and the people. It's like your grocery dollar bill is $50.
0%, 10%.
Do you want to tip me? And I'm like, no, I don't. You're just
you're doing
your job.
less than them.
Exactly.
It's
annoying.
Stupid. But I reckon it's also Visa or MasterCard, whoever the payment system was by, because they get the percentage of the bill. It's like 1% or 2%.
Oh, there's a transaction fee.
So the higher it is, the more they get.
So what happens if you pay with cash?
They don't, because it's not through that system.
Yeah, but do they still ask you on a tip?
I assume so.
Or do they say it'll be $28.95?
It will be $28.95, and then you say make it 30, make it 20. You might round it up.
So you don't have to put 0, 10, or 20.
No. It's only if you pay by resort charge, which is their internal, the Aspen Snowmass.
Oh, okay. So if it's the resort thing, then they do have you tip.
Or if it's the credit card.
No, because then it's not a credit card thing. Then it's probably from the resort to get more money.
And they also
That's such a scam. Oh, that's awful. I can't believe it.
I know.
Did you tip every time?
I had to.
Did you tip each time?
I was shamed into tipping every time.
What about your mom? Did she tip each time?
Yeah. But we actually, funny story about tipping. We went to a really nice restaurant. This was like 3 years back.
Yeah.
And Mum paid, but we only had I think it was $50 cash, and we gave the woman $100 tip.
$100 tip?
Yeah.
For what?
Aspen's very expensive for eating. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, $100 tip. Well, I had to get my ski boots
I'm
fixed, and I
sorry.
gave the guy $100 tip because he put his hand into some really smelly ski boots. But don't get angry at that.
Okay, that's fair. But what
Yeah.
she gave a server $100 for food.
Yeah, because our bill was a lot of money.
Was your bill $2,000?
No,
And why did she give a $100 tip?
it was the way, as you said, good reward. She was actually a very excellent waiter.
$100 seems like a lot of money to tip.
But anyway, we go in there.
Imagine I got $100. Like, I work at a restaurant, right? I wash dishes.
I will
and,
come. My family will come eat with you, and then you can get $100 tip.
No, because I don't. I wash dishes, right? And I skip part of the tip. They split the tip among all the server. They
So it's
among
pooled.
all the they pool the tips, and that's I think that's fantastic because I'm a waiter, so I don't. Otherwise, I wouldn't get any tips,
Yeah.
right? But I'm also quite grumpy because it defeats the point of the tip.
Yeah.
Because the point of the tip is I want to reward this server, this
particular-
excellent server.
Not the rude person who
Yeah,
does,
exactly. But I think that's very nice for my job.
Mm.
But what was I saying? Yeah, you should still come by and give me tip $100 because then I get higher
Gets
tip.
pulled.
Or
No.
you know what? You could just give me $100
on the side.
just no.
That's
Just
some excellent.
literally
training
just give me $100
for this beautiful conversation. we're
Yes,
having.
exactly. Pay me, Dunphy.
No, but getting back to it, we only have $50, and we wanted to give them 100. So what happens was we give. Oh wait, no. We wanted to give a 50. We only had 20, and then we put the 30. It was a $500. It was a $200 dinner, I think. Something along the lines of we had to tip her between $50 and $100, but we only
For
had
$200 of dinner.
no more than that. Look, the story. It's really hard. So it's
Come
really
on,
hard
get
to
your
explain.
goddamn thing straight.
So what happens is
We're live
we
here.
tip the woman a little bit in cash, and then my parents sign the rest because I was younger, so I don't know how this worked. But we walk out of the restaurant, and the manager chases us.
Why?
This is not an acceptable tip, I tell you. If you really didn't like my wait staff, you could have told me, and I would have put someone literally in the middle of
No
public. So
way.
my mum turns to this woman.
Wait, how
the
much
man-
did you tip then, though?
So we tipped like. Okay.
Actually, no.
I don't know
That
the
doesn't
percentage.
even matter.
Matter.
The matters is you did tip.
Tip.
And he was upset that your tip was too low.
Too low, but it gets better. My mum turns, and
I mean, it gets worse,
my mum's a fighter. I love my mum for being like she stands up for herself. She doesn't
Yeah,
like people.
I'd yell at that guy. I'd be like, what the fuck do you mean? You should
Exactly.
be lucky that I'm giving you any money at all.
But my mum goes, this is a $20 bill. The manager holds up, and my mum says, walks up, opens it, really aggressive. She's a manager there, and we still see her, and now we're really good friends because she feels shamed by this.
Of course.
My mum points and says, look at the tip on the credit card. We double tipped to make up for the lower tip.
No. Okay. Yeah. And
So grieved. She apologized so much and insisted we come back for dinner the next night on the house.
that's not
That's
American service.
American service.
American
No, but
service.
what would you do if that
Oh
manager
my
came?
god.
Would you?
Okay. So first of all, I think I tip in America when I'm there, as I tip 20%, or like 10 or 15% or 20%, depends. And if I didn't have any money to tip or something, or I didn't tip for some reason, and someone comes up to me and says, "You didn't tip," or "You didn't tip enough,"
Yeah.
I would lose my shit and I'd yell at them and I'd say, "How dare you demand that I tip? Because tipping should be a reward for excellent wait staff. You are not entitled to a 20% tip." Right? I would seriously, I would really yell at them.
It's the social
and I'd
pressure.
never go to that restaurant ever again.
You'd refuse.
Yeah, I'd never go.
Good for you. I agree with that.
I think it's awful. I think tipping, people in America should tip because wait staff don't get paid very much.
No.
And if we were to let's not go political there. I nearly said something. I was like, actually, I should not say that.
No.
And I think that's a problem, and I think waiters should be paid more, and wait staff should be paid more. But I would tip, but I would lose it if someone came up to me like that and said you didn't tip enough.
For sure.
I've gotten sometimes, if I order food, I don't tip the people that deliver my food
On
unless
Uber
it's
or
raining.
yeah.
Unless it's raining.
You go $1 or $2.
No,
yeah.
if because I generally pay in cash, right?
Okay,
when I'm
yeah.
ordering food, or if I don't, generally speaking, when I order food, I don't tip, except if it's bad weather.
Bad weather.
because they're not doing much. They're just bringing my food and
It's
they're getting paid to do
miserable,
it.
yeah.
Right. But if it's bad weather, then I really appreciate it and I give them a little extra, which I think is how tipping should work.
Yeah.
You know, but I've gotten some dirty looks, and I'm happy to take the dirty looks. I'm like, I don't care. I want my food. You're getting paid X amount to do it. You're not entitled to a tip, unless it's like raining and you're having like you're doing something extra.
But in America, you have to tip delivery stuff, right? Because
I think so. I've never I actually have never had anything ordered in America.
There's this one delivery
as
guy.
in like at home. I've never ordered like McDonald's or Uber Eats or whatever. I always go out.
There's this one guy in America who works for a place called Hickory House, Best Ribs in Aspen, and he has one arm.
Okay.
And if he like says, I used to be a Marine, and he'd hand you the bag with his one arm, and people would tip him out of sympathy, but I think you tip him because he's doing a good job, not because, like, anyone. Would you do that?
I'm pretty sure that because he's a Marine and because he had an accident, he gets excellent American government health care, and I think he gets a lot of benefits.
Yeah.
So I think he's covered for the sacrifice that he made, and the sacrifice that I think I'm very grateful for.
Of course, as we all are.
Exactly, because, you know, whenever I don't see servicemen very often, but I'll tell you something really quick. I was in Okinawa on holiday, which is a place in Japan. And if you didn't know, there are military bases all over Okinawa in Japan.
The U.S.
American military bases in Okinawa, Japan. It's an island in the Pacific. And there was an American service member, and I really wanted to say thank you for your service.
It's an American thing.
But it's such an American thing. But I was too nervous to go up to him, so I didn't. But I feel like I really wanted to, and I should have. I regret not doing that.
Would you give up your seat in a business class flight for a U.S. Marine?
No, I wouldn't.
Apparently that's a thing.
Oh, I would never do that.
You would never do that?
No, I'd give my seat up on a bus. Yeah.
Of course, yeah, but apparently people give up their business class. No. You call it first in America, your first class seat.
Yeah, isn't there there's a difference between first and business?
No, because in domestic, it's only first or economy.
Okay. Well,
no,
I would not give up my...
You would not? Okay.
I'm grateful, but I'm not several $1,000s worth of grateful.
Great.
Especially if
to some random person I've never met.
Exactly.
Who might have not done anything, might just be a... what is it?
But also, keep in mind, right, the taxes that... Because Americans tax on citizenship, so even if I'm living in Europe, I have to pay American taxes.
Yeah.
The taxes that I pay to the United States go towards salary and benefits for all of those people. So I feel like that is part of the economic gratefulness that I show our troops, and also, of course, my undying gratitude for them putting their lives on the line to protect the country. But overall, that summarizes my opinion on tipping. America, I very much love the country.
Quickly before you, what is tipping for delivery personnel in America? Yes or no?
Ooh, in America?
Yep.
No.
Okay.
Unless they're doing something. Unless they had to like go back to get something for me because they forgot something, or it's raining, or it's really bad weather, or they seem like they're really having a tough time or something, or they're like extraordinarily nice.
Nice, yeah.
Then
we put some extra toppings in there,
or something along those lines. If it's like a very fast delivery for some reason.
Yeah.
And then I'd round. If it's like $12, I'd make it 15.
Cool.
You know, something just simple.
Nice.
But yeah, that's tipping.
Nice.
Social media. We have it.
Finally, I know. I've been a bit slow.
Basically, people, is I refuse out of principle to make a social media account, so I'm not making one. So I had to have Dunphy do it, but he's been in America, gone.
But I made it like 2 weeks ago.
But he made it, and he never sent me what the @ was, so I couldn't promote it yet.
Sorry, but our official @ and you can find us at the moment on Instagram and soon to come Twitter.
But Twitter will be a different @ I think.
Yeah, hopefully.
But anyway, sorry.
It will be Radio Hot Air.
Yes, that's us.
That's it. No underscores.
Instagram @ Radio Hot Air. Follow us. I think if you find that fun, the purpose of it is we'll find funny little things that we do, or things that remind us of the show. Or some back of the scene stuff. For all of you that care, there will be no pictures of me on there because I refuse to let people take pictures of me for social media. Well,
this will be your identity. Hide your identity.
Well, the Hot Air social media account will hide my identity. So my face will not be on there. But Dunphy's will.
Will you accept a photo of your face but with a blurred out
image?
image?
Yeah, you can blur out my face. You can take a picture of me.
That can be our running theme now.
Yes.
So what happens if we ever one day decided to do like recording
We're
of
not.
our face.
We're not.
If we
doing
ever
that.
did.
I would never do that.
You'd wear a mask.
I know, because it's uncomfortable. But I don't, like, there's, on the Twitch stuff, there's a little drawing of me, but I don't think that's enough to discern anything. But neither are we that big, so it doesn't really matter. I just think it's a point of principle. So we do have a social media account. Please follow us at Radio Hot Air. Also, if you're not listening to us live, you can find us at twitch.tv/Radio Hot Air every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Mr. Standard.
Exactly.
Sorry, I don't know why I did that.
And we'll let you know next week when I think we have like Twitter and other things up.
Yeah.
But follow us now for behind the scenes extra footage.
And what I was saying is we just posted a great photo. And it is tagged, it's commented recording episode 10. If you can comment a great title for Noah's BMX bike show game, we will pick our favorites and publicly say it. And yeah.
But yeah, so it's our 10th anniversary. And the plan was to discuss my opinions on social media now. And I have very strong opinions about social media in its destructive capabilities and the reasons why I don't use it.
Can you do it in the next 5 minutes?
But I can't do it in the next 5 minutes. So we're going to have to talk about it next week. So I'll make a note, and you're going to be here next week, right?
Of course I'll be here.
Okay.
Actually, no, I'm joking.
We didn't have any new music on this week. I'm sorry for that. We'll see what we can do for next week. But I wanted to ask you before we go, what have you thought about the last 7 episodes that you've been on?
So evil. 7 episodes. Yeah, it'll be my 10th anniversary and 3 more episodes. Yeah. No, I think we've grown.
What do you think about the journey?
I think we've grown as a couple. We are not together, just we've grown as a show, and I believe that I think this show, even though we're not world famous and we're not like,
no, we're reaching thousands of people.
We're reaching millions of people. It's
just
how many people are clicking on us. That's the thing. Or searching us up. No, our reach is great, and we've decided we don't care what happens. We just enjoy this.
Well, that was not there. I don't think that was ever the point of the show.
No.
Was the point of the show for me, and I don't know, probably for Dunphy too, is I think it's just fun, and I really enjoy it, and it's really fun to have, we get to work on music and edit things, and we have a place, and we can always invite our buddies to come over and talk to us on the air, and I think this is a fun experience.
It's just it's weird, but it's awesome. It
is super fun to be able to run your own podcast, even though we don't have so I think that was fun, and I want to say happy anniversary.
Happy
10
anniversary
episodes
to you, partner in crime.
And I think I was thinking we might run a clip show at some point.
A clip show?
What do you feel about a clip? What do you feel if we run a clip show?
What do you mean by clip show?
As in, we take little snippets from previous recordings and we play them in the show, and then we discuss them.
Like an audio montage?
Yeah, no, because we'd have a
whole episode.
Do you remember? I'd probably have to listen to all of the episodes, and I'd find stupid shit that you've said, and he's like, "Do you remember when you said this?" And then you'd be like, "Oh no, I didn't say that."
Are you committed to going through 10 hours worth of us?
No, because the next one that we do is we probably do it at episode 50. And then I'd have to look through 50 hours of footage.
We'd literally have to sit together for a couple days.
We would.
And just,
we'd totally have to do that. What a nightmare! Listen to our voices for 50 hours. But
we
also,
both hate our voices. Oh, no, I'm all right, but you hate yours.
I don't like my voice, but I've gotten used to it. Also, what I think would be fun is because we always do little test recordings at the start. I save most of those on a folder on my computer.
No.
So we still have those, which we could share, which will be fun. But I just wanted to say thank you to all of the people that have helped with our show.
Being loyal.
Just the people that listen, right? And also the friends of ours that have, Martin writing our improvising and helping us with the music. And I don't know if you remember from the first episode, the person that designed our logo, Alex, thank her as well for designing our logo. It's very nice. And also Paulina for, doing the artwork for our Twitch.
That doesn't resemble you at all.
No, it totally does. No, it does. Well, no, no.
It's a police character sketch. Yeah, we're looking for this man here.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Well, no, I do kind of look like that. I do actually look like that, but it's just a cartoon version of me.
They're
no,
great
they're very well.
cartoons,
They're very well
and we
done.
really appreciate.
We do really appreciate it.
But we appreciate everyone that listens to us. We appreciate everyone that helps us.
I feel like if this is Thanksgiving, I feel like we're giving thanks to all of the people that have supported the show.
But most importantly, I appreciate you.
Aw, thank you, Dunphy. I appreciate you too. I appreciate everything that you've done for the show.
And we appreciate our guests.
Our guests.
Most of them.
Not all of them.
Besides Zareas, who decided to take us hostage. 5 p.m., what is it?
Huh? Oh, yeah, I'm not doing that. He's not here. I don't have to be afraid of him now. But thank you all for listening. That was the 10th episode of Radio Hot Air, and that was our anniversary episode. I hope it was fun. I hope you enjoyed, and please join us next week at twitch.tv/Radio Hot Air.